save us.
Only America.
Only America can save the 7. Is it 7 billion right now alive?
7.5. 7 going on 10.
Yeah, but how many people are actually here right now?
7.01.
Okay. Basically, it's going to be 7 billion people are going to be like in Aleppo, and the 0.01 billion.
It's us here in Tuscany.
So do you see us waking up one morning? I had a wonderful dream. I'll never forget. I woke up one morning and it was like we were all. I woke up and the world was a different place, and it was like the nightmare was over, and we all had come to this universal realization that we were really fucking up, pardon my French, and everybody just got it overnight, and the world was a different place. Now to me that would be a fairly realizable version of the second coming. Do you see it as something like that? Or do you see a 900-foot Jesus appearing like in Oral Roberts, you know, or 144,000 people suddenly disappearing and being raptured? How do you give me a concrete picture of how you see the second coming, Dan?
I keep telling you, this is it.
This is it. He thinks this is it. And okay, this is it, and it requires a miracle, which I don't believe.
Well, it requires only a miracle to get this tape onto the internet.
Yeah, but the thing is, the point is,
and you think that
no,
can't
we'll
happen.
get no. That will happen, but the audience will be small.
Well,
unless something goes viral. Viral. There's one thing that can happen.
You and I are
one thing that can happen. There's
this
one
will go
viral.
Yes, right.
There's one thing that can happen. It may be that via the social networks, via my 4,000 friends on Facebook and other connections, and due to David Kaiser's book, where my picture's been in the New York Times and your book, it may be that there are some. Maybe that Mark Zuckerberg, if he were. Maybe these kids are watching, because I have a big Facebook page. Yeah, everything's on Facebook.
How many fans, followers?
About 4,000.
4,000.
Yeah. Okay, but if it doesn't matter. If there are some influential venture capitalists, people who are really concerned, watching it, that they will push it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it'll go viral, and then we have viral, and then
viral's good too.
Yeah, viral and viral. Then it'll go viral, and then maybe we'll have a movement arising.
A movement.
Shit,
said the Queen. There's a mass movement.
And something like that. And we'll see. But barring America, and I think that's unlikely.
Why would that take a miracle? Which that's just a minor.
5 minutes, gents.
A minor.
All right, well, it's a good place. I think this is a good place to end.
So, gentlemen, let's pick it up. And Dan and I were having a conversation this morning at the cafe, and Dan may want to pick it up from there.
All right, that sounds like a segue.
Loud,
speaking, projecting. Yes, I mean our audience, our first and primary audience target thing is probably going to be the UFO folks, and I'm kind of bad news as far as bait and switch. I'm saying that the UFOs, the ET thing was the bait and kind of meant to be a distraction. And now I come along and say, maybe there's something else going on here, that we are going off the planet, but not necessarily to another planet. And this is what.
No, just say this. You could say the mysterious Mr. We'll have a
code name.
We need a code name. The Contessa.
Contessa. All right. The Contessa and I this morning, before Kim and I were going at it, the Contessa and I and we were talking. that I'm a definitely retro cosmologist, pre-Copernican, young Earth, pre-Copernican, you name it, and that's we're saying that the best possible world is not necessarily an infinite old world. It may be that what we see is what we get.
Yeah, by the way, what we see is definitely finite. It's not infinite.
Even when you look through the biggest, most powerful telescope,
everything's finite.
It's still finite.
Yeah. And 13.7 billion years back in time is all we can go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's called the past particle horizon, and that's Einstein's general theory. And everything that Lenny Susskind and the others say about Linde about inflation, it's consistent with the equations of Einstein, but we can't actually see them. So it is metaphysics in the sense that it's not verifiable. Unless we have telepathic signal non-locality, then in principle we can find out if there is anything beyond our cosmological horizons, both past and future. We have two of them. Right. We're bounded in the future, we're bounded in the past. Right. By light signals, in the expanding, accelerating, dark energy universe. The Pandolfi said to make sure there's physics in there. So that's what Ron said. That was Ron's directive last night on the telephone.
Right.
And mysterious Ron.
The mysterious Ron. L. Ron.
Jack, have you heard of Amit Goswami?
Not that I've heard of him, I know him.
You know him personally.
Yeah.
And I know him.
Many years.
Yeah, I was
70. He was part of. He was a peripheral part of our group.
Okay.
Hey, Fred Wolf knows him very well. We forgot to call Fred. We forgot to call Fred Allen Wolf.
Yeah, and Jagdish.
But I'm not a physicist.
Do we need a code name for Jagdish?
No, Jagdish. To be just Jagdish.
But have you ever heard of Amit Goswami?
Yes, it doesn't matter.
Anyway.
He's an Indian physicist up at Washington.
Abdul Salam.
Abdul Salam. Who he looks like. He looks like Abdul Salam. Yeah, he knows He knew Abdul Salam.
Yeah. Have you met? Oh, I mentioned that you don't know. You have not met Amit Kim.
No, I haven't.
Well, but let's get to the point. What about
the point? All right. His think tank is called Science Within Consciousness, SWIC, SWIC. You recall that? Science Within Consciousness. And
as opposed to Nick Herbert's Slick?
Slick. No, I don't know.
Just a joke. Bad joke.
So this is what we were talking about last time, is that maybe we are in the cloud.
Yes.
In the cloud.
We may be holographic simulations. This whole thing may be a computation of some kind, a super computation.
Which I think would be the best if we had our choice.
But remember, Roger Penrose thinks that consciousness is not computable in a sense. But it's not clear whether Penrose, once you include retro-causality back from the future stuff, as well as the ordinary forward causation, then he might agree. See, ordinary strong AI says that consciousness can emerge simply from algorithms that proceed in one direction in time, right, past the present. And Penrose argues against that.
That's called strong.
Strong AI. I think he argues against the strong AI.
Right. And I was interested in what you meant about the advanced potential coming back and the retarded potential going forward.
Yeah, it's the two of them.
And meeting in the present.
In fact, they create the collision. The collision of past and future signals is what creates the present, be here now reality, and that's basically that's basically Yaki Aharonov's theory. The only thing that's what the that's what President Obama gave him a medal for at the White House last year, for that very idea. And that's, in the Discover magazine article, and that's what they're celebrating this Thursday at Chapman College.
We may be listening to online.
We'll listen to it online. I wouldn't want to spend the money going down there or something.
Dan, let me just remind you of what we were discussing this morning, because I think it's relevant to today's discussion about your almost vehement. You were vehement about we were discussing extraterrestrials, and let's not get into the distinction between extraterrestrials and ultraterrestrials. We were talking about advanced intelligences, technologically advanced intelligences, visiting Earth, and why that to us should be, to me, it should be an impetus for us to emulate them and go out there and be fruitful and multiply, like Hawking says we should be doing. And you said that that's absolutely stupid, and there's no reason for us to do that, and even went so far as to say that they wouldn't let us do that.
Well, that may be. Now, by the way, it's interesting. What Kim just said is the position that I took along with Doug Trumbull at the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency NASA 100-year Starship Project meeting in Orlando, Florida, on October 1st and 2nd, 2011. And they didn't like hearing that, of course. It was just me and Doug Trumbull, who did Kubrick's 2001 special effects. Because he agreed with me.
And Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
He did Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And Doug...
And he agreed with you
on what Kim just said. What you disagree with.
Oh, that we're not that they would not let us go out.
No, that we should go out there. That others are doing it, and that means that it's possible and maybe even practical, and that's why we should be concentrating our efforts doing that.
Right, and I was arguing there that all their concentration on ion propulsion and rockets and solar sails was just total nonsense for Interstellar, because the distances are too big and you have Einstein's time dilation problem. I said the only way to do it is to concentrate now on warp drive and wormhole metric engineering. That we control the shape, the fabric of space-time itself in order to achieve this, and that the way we could learn how to do it is through the UFOs, because they're already doing it. Right.
Now I'm writing an article about this. It is possible that the occupants of these UFOs could be what they call von Neumann machines, intelligent automata. They could be.
My contact, basically, when I was a kid, the robot thing, it basically said it was like a von Neumann probe.
So if they are that, then they would not need warp drives. All they would need would be a space drive that would allow them to go very, very close to the speed of light. But they will never return to where they came from, and it's not necessary because they're not flesh and blood beings with emotions and souls like ourselves, as far as we know.
Yes, but that would not explain all the other data. Would not explain all the other data.
Jagdish, what do you think about
Jagdish is a skeptic. Jagdish is a skeptic.
I'm enjoying the discussion.
I'm gonna leave Jagdish off camera because I don't want to have to reframe the shot.
Incidentally,
you can hear him though.
Biologist.
Jagdish is a rationalist. He's a Voltaire.
It's human nature.
Rationalist. Jagdish is the arch skeptic.
Keep on moving.
He's a skeptic.
Right.
Yeah, Jagdish is our silent reality checker here.
He's a reality. He's a total
I'm the bad. I'm the bad guy.
Jagdish has a curse on both your houses.
No, but I believe we are explorers. If we could, we will go to the stars. No doubt.
I just wanted you to let him, so we don't, because he's off camera, and we want to hear what he's saying.
Right. I'm done. But anyway, I share this with them, that if we can make it, we will go to the stars.
If we are okay, so I'm the bad.
You're the not bad.
You are definitely bad.
Charlie.
No, you are definitely bad news.
Not bad.
You are a bad boy. You're a little Jack Horner sitting in the corner, eating your curds and whey. And watch out for the kiss of the spider. Watch out for the kiss. You've been kissed by spider women several times. Don't forget.
this might be.
So Dan, let's get back to that because I think we should concentrate on that issue today because it's important from both a metaphysical and a physical standpoint.
I understand
to our survival.
All you mortals here, mortal people here, have been enraptured in this illusion of infinite space and time.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Well, that's you. Don't put words in my mouth. That's not the best precision cosmology. Is that the observable universe is enclosed inside what's called the causal diamond, consisting of the future event horizon and the past particle horizon.
Is it fair to say that Jack Sarfatti is somewhat on the fence?
No. This is a little bit on the wall. We'll give you more than this. But but this causal diamond thing. This is academic. Tamara Davis, Paul Davies, Stephen Hawking.
Here comes the Contessa.
Is that
the Contessa?
That sounds like a very expensive horn.
Yeah. That is expensive. That is the Contessa. The Contessa is... No, it's Tinkerbell.
Some guy in a Ferrari yelling for his girlfriend, actually, is what it is.
No. Tinkerbell is flying...
We're looking. You have to look around.
No, we can't. Tinkerbell. What's she doing?
What's she doing? All right.
Tinkerbell is doing something with the tree nymphs.
All right, so continue.
Well, where were we?
We were discussing, Jack was just discussing, how the structure of the physical universe is as to the state of our knowledge, where we have a past and we have a predetermined future, which is pretty radical when you think about it. A predetermined future.
No. Wait a minute. No.
Okay, all right. Correct me.
Not predetermined future. We have a post-determined past.
All right, explain the difference.
We have a post-determined past.
That's very important. Explain the difference.
That's back from the future. See, it's not predestination. Predestination is Laplacian determinism. Okay. But what it is. But okay, let me just speak. Yaki Aharonov's theory. Yaki Aharonov's theory. He still has probability in it. He still has the Born probability interpretation. And what Yakir says is that we have a post-determined, back from the future probability wave for things that these are still Bohr's probability. It's only probability. It's not actuality yet. Okay, and then so we have the advance. It goes back to the Wheeler Feynman Retro-causal electrodynamics, 1940. Based on earlier physicists from World War I.
Delayed choice, any kind of
delayed choice is part of it, but don't confuse that at this point. But you have two quantum mechanical waves. You have a back from the future destiny wave.
The advanced potential coming
sort of
back.
like an advancement coming back from our future cosmological horizon. And then you have the predetermined, the retarded, coming from our past particle horizon, and the two kind of collide, and then a miracle happens.
Right.
Quote Henry Stapp, collapse, and you have an actual event.
So let me. All right. Does that imply that that this future wave, acting backwards in time, does that contain? Is it a space of all possibility?
Well, yeah, no. Well, in ordinary quantum theory, it would be. And what Yaki Aharonov, he still has the Born probability because he doesn't have signal, no locality. There's no spooky telepathic action at a distance that can be controlled.
Right.
Okay. It's uncontrollable, random, so it's what's called the Born probability interpretation. And, I don't think he ever considers the big picture to answer kind of philosophical question like you just asked, or like Dan would ask. But all they're doing experiments, with quantum systems and laboratory experiments in which you can show, by inference at least, that there has to be a future influence on the present, but you cannot know that until after it's already happened. So
right. Well, then how much?
Precognition. You can't win the lottery with this effect, with their effect. And what I'm talking about, what Anthony Valentini and I and Brian Joseph are talking about, you can actually win the lottery. Signal non-locality would mean that you could know to tomorrow's lottery result before it happens and make trillions of dollars.
Well, then doesn't that imply that there is a certain level of ultimate super determinism in some sense?
Well, maybe it does. But the thing is this: you have to understand. Let me put it in simple terms. What the no signaling theorems of orthodox quantum theory say is that it is impossible for you to cheat on the lottery. It's impossible for you to know tomorrow's lottery results today, and it's possible to invest money, to make money, because you have that future precognitive information. However, the Central Intelligence Agency funded experiments of Puthoff and Targ, Russell Targ, back in the 70s, SRI, they contradict that. They show, in fact, they have made money. not trillions they made, hundreds of thousands. They have. See, that's what signal non-locality is all about.
But isn't there a time limit on it? Isn't it? They've only shown it in a very, very small scale of time.
No, that limited. No, they did it over at least 4 days, weeks ahead. Yeah, you have to. This is where we'd have to have. If we were to do this seriously, we'd have to have Russell Targ come in and he could explain all that.
We need to get Russell.
Yeah, but this is involved. This is a much more longer-term project. You can't just get everybody to come. Your convenience. It has to be their convenience, and it's going to cost money. But Russell. By the way, Russell has stuff on the internet. He explains everything I'm talking about in detail. Just go Russell Targ. And this is what he's training.
Would that explain how some people have profoundly accurate precognition abilities, such as prophets?
Not only prophets, all the billionaires today, the 0.001% who control everything, the 400, the whatever you want to call it, the secret government, whatever you want to call it, all these guys, they've gotten their money because they have intuition and they are using this ability to make their money. See, the successful traders on Wall Street, they have it. That's what whether they know it or not.
Well, can machines have intuition?
Sure, we can build machines with intuition. Once we know the physics, that's what I'm working on. That's part of. Yeah, I mean, if the test.
You'd want that if you had a starship. You'd want a machine that was guiding your starship with you.
The test
that
of
had that
any
kind of
real physics
intuition.
of consciousness is to build such a machine. That's the proof in the pudding. There's no. I mean, it's definitely scientific. And then they could do. The sorts of experiments they were doing at SRI back in the 70s, where they predicted future events well beyond many standard deviations. Sort of like looking for the Higgs particle, 5 standard deviations. I don't know if they got 5 standard deviations, maybe they got 2, 3, or 4. But in any case, I'm not expert on that, but that's what Russell Targ and Harold Puthoff and others like them, who were part of these experiments, can talk about. And it's factual as far as I'm concerned. These are facts. Yes, go ahead.
Let me do a little switcheroo here and introduce another metaphor or analogy where I think quite a few people have had a kind of a retarded, advanced potential dream where you have a dream that is very coherent and it logically leads up to a bell ring, and it turns out that the bell ringing is your alarm clock. Now, how do we explain it's like a precognitive dream?
Well, that's what Ben Libet's experiment. That's what Bierman, Dean Radin, and Darrell Bem at Cornell. That's what they're seeing. That's what they're claiming. That kind of.
You know what? Most of us have experiences in our lives where that happens, but most of us, when the event happens, it triggers the memory of the dream earlier, and you go, "I had a dream about that." The trick is the good prophets and the people that are the power brokers are the ones that go. They can wake up and they can go, "Wow, I'm going to act on this. I believe that this is going to happen."
That's signal non-locality in action, man. And when that's what Gregory.
And when it happens, it's not a surprise to them. If it is, it's just a pleasant surprise.
And that's what Gregory Corso called the messenger spirit.
All right.
It's beyond space.
I'm being a little more far out here
Yeah.
in terms of there are sleep researchers who suggest that this kind of dream actually it's all at once. It's like a tape. The alarm clock starts ringing, and as it's ringing, it's like you're pulling a tape out, and it seems like you've been having this dream at the end of which you wake up, but it's all happening
you mean
instantaneously in the here and now.
Yeah, but how do they know that?
Well, they don't.
That's
That's a speculation.
Yeah.
Now, I take this little speculation and I run with it.
Okay.
And I'm saying what we are now is God waking up.
Well,
We are God waking up in
That's
little bits. God had this terrible.
What are you, Walt Whitman?
Schizophrenic. What am I thinking? It's multiple
poetry.
personality.
It's not a bad poetic metaphor.
God has had this terrible multiple personality disorder where he thinks Jack thinks he's God, I think I'm God, and Jagdish thinks he's.
Well, there are religions. Everybody's God, right?
Everybody's sort of shouting at each other the way Kim and I were shouting at each other.
We weren't shouting, Dan.
I was shouting.
That's a very important.
No, that's what in Sicily they do is say, I tell a you, and you say, oh no, I tell a you. You tell a me or I tell a you. I mean, that's.
And so God is it's like God is trying to wake up, trying to get the act back together.
Okay, and that's true.
And the internet is part of how God is trying to pull himself back together.
Okay, well let me just tell you this also. Let me tell you this.
Okay.
The future cosmological horizon has a channel capacity, an informational capacity, which as space expands and accelerates, that capacity is also increasing so that the intelligence and probably the power of the consciousness of the God computer at the end time.
The Omega point.
The Omega point, the Omega computer, it's evolving too. It's getting more and more intelligent, but it does reach a plateau, a maximum. It goes according to relativity theory, and the maximum it's pretty big. I mean, it's like 10 to the 123 quantum bits, which is effectively infinite.
Is that an entropic limit?
That's the entropy, because the entropy is proportional to challenge, and the entropy is proportional to the area. That's Stephen Hawking. That's Williston Bekenstein at Princeton. Did you meet Jacob Bekenstein?
No.
Okay, but that all comes from the black hole thermodynamics of the 60s and the 70s and this. So, and that's all been generalized to cosmology by Stephen Hawking. This is all pretty standard stuff. And the guy who said it was a computer is Seth Lloyd at MIT, I think. And the guy who said the computer is a conscious cosmic computer, God consciousness, mind to God, is Jack Sarfatti. That's me.
All right.
Seth Lloyd,
So
who will
we
be at this
are
meeting,
these
by the way. He's going to be at the
speaking.
Yeah, so you want to hear Seth Lloyd talk.
Yeah. All right. Now,
So wait a minute. So let me go. Would you say, given that view of the universe, even at the particle level, there is some measure of intelligence
I don't know if I would say that, but maybe. I mean, I don't want to.
And as we increase in complexity, as the entity increases in complexity, let's go up to a human being that is an exquisitely complex entity. The consciousness increases at a greater rate.
I mean, clearly, as the information capacity of the system increases, the power of the consciousness, it's not.
Right, we're better transceivers.
That's very plausible.
Right, we're better transceivers than a fundamental particle is.
Right.
Although a fundamental particle, from what you said, is being influenced by the future.
Yes.
To some degree.
Yes. Oh, wait, no question. Yeah, I mean, that's what all these new experiments by Aharonov's group, where they do what are called these weak measurements, which barely perturb the system, and with a strong final measurement, they're able to argue very effectively that the weak measurements in the past somehow know what that future strong measurement is going to be in the future, even though that strong measurement is freely chosen and nobody else knows it, but there is a backward influence in time. Although they have the catch-22. You don't really know it for sure until after everything is over.
Well, isn't the real catch-22 in this the consciousness that's observing the measurement, that's making the measurement?
Well, if you believe in Vigna,
yeah.
I know it's Vigna's
Well,
thought. You know.
I mean, this is my bait and switch.
Oh,
This
go
is
ahead,
my
go ahead.
switch.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the switch, is that we bypass. We're going to bypass the ETs and the stars, and instead of going out baby steps.
He wants to get into the cloud. You want to go right away to the cloud.
You want to go to heaven.
He wants to get to heaven is
yeah.
the future horizon in the far future. He
Right?
wants to
That's what
be
we were talking
absorbed.
about this morning, Dan. You said you said it's more important that we just think about going to heaven than it is going to the stars. That's what it boiled down to.
He wants to get. He wants to get to the future
stars
horizon
are
right
just-
away.
are just-
But you want to know something?
are
The
just-
fun is in the journey, is in the quest. You want to get to the end point. You're a lazy son. You're a lazy. You're a
Take the
lazy
long way
guy.
home.
Oh no! What did they say? Minkowski called Einstein a lazy.
And you
fool.
also talked
You're
about
a
this
lazy
this
dog.
this going to heaven idea that you had this morning
Yeah.
seemed to involve a collective going to heaven.
Yes,
and to
it
me, that implies some kind of horrific catastrophe where we all die.
Well, that which may very well happen. That's not at all improbable. But the thing is this. Well, I lost my train of thought for a minute. I was going to say what Dan. Oh yes, Dan's philosophy here is totally self-contradictory because
Finally.
because you want to get to the end point.
Yeah.
But if it's the best of all possible universes, being the most dramatic of all possible, you have to experience the drama.
Right.
Okay, and you don't want to. You want to just get.
Yeah,
to
you
the
want a
end.
shortcut.
You want a shortcut, man. No shortcuts. No shortcut to
It's-
enlightenment.
it's
No easy
baby
street.
steps.
No
Baby-
easy.
baby
The baby
steps.
steps are important.
Right.
Baby
Right.
steps are important.
Yeah.
Right? Baby steps are important.
Baby steps. Yeah.
You and I agree to that kind of stuff.
You have to learn how to walk before you run.
But I want to explore this tack that we took this morning in our discussion outside the Cafe Trieste, where you were open to the idea that yes, there are extraterrestrials here. We didn't want to get into the whether or not they're demonic or angelic or into that metaphysical level of
visitors.
abstraction.
They are
There are
some are
technologically.
angelic, some are demonic.
It looks like there are technologically advanced entities visiting this planet. That's a very broad
Not
way of
busy,
saying.
but creating our history, interfering significantly in our history.
And you thought that there was no point in us trying to emulate them and go out there ourselves to experience that wonder and that incredible
Like the curiosity of
discovery
Mars.
that lies out there for us. And you said there's no point because they won't let us go out there. Well, how do you know that?
Hey, they let Curiosity made it to Mars.
Yeah,
we just had, so that
yeah,
disproves what you're saying.
Good. You know something we don't know, Dan? I mean,
Yeah,
how do you know they're not going to let us go out there?
Curiosity just disproved your thesis, as far as I'm concerned. Because it was already saying something stopping the Mars. That's not so. I mean, we have stuff on Mars.
Got through.
It finally got through.
Yeah.
So
Doesn't mean it might not break down tomorrow, but
let's all take a deep breath.
Yeah. All right. The problem is, as I was saying yesterday, you can't invent a time machine because it's got this circular logic going, and
Well, it creates itself.
it creates itself.
Sure.
And I'm
But-
saying we are God creating
Yeah, well,
God's
okay,
self.
yeah,
right?
okay. Everything coming out of your mouth, in my mouth, everybody's mouth, every new idea is this. Is what you're trying. That's the mechanism. It's all self-created.
Yeah,
And that may be what
yeah.
Plato meant by forms, theory of forms, Platonic ideas. The realm of ideas. They're there,
Right.
kind of self-creating, and they just manifest in our.
yeah, they're not really new. They're just there, and some people find them.
They're not new because it's a circle in time. And, I mean, it's these bootstrap loops of no.
I have a I call it a conscious loop in time, but don't use the acronym.
Oh no! This
A
is
CLIT,
what?
a conscious loop in time.
Conscious loop in time. Oh,
Why not?
dear.
Oh, yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Don't. Let's.
Yeah.
We'll save that till later.
Conscious loop
In
in
time.
time. What is the acronym?
All right.
Okay.
There we go. I think they got it.
They got it.
Okay. Let's see. All right. Well, that's fine. If you can prove to me that that's the better possible world.
Nick Herbert is going to go crazy when he hears that.
All right. This is all right.
That just came into my head just now.
That was the ghost. Nick Herbert must have been.
Nick Herbert was. Yeah, I was hearing the ghost of Nick Herbert.
All right. Let's.
Either that or it was the Scotch.
Let's bring it back.
All right. So let's go back to that topic about ETs not wanting us out there.
If you can prove that that's the best, that we need to go there, they come here to help us go there, or even to.
Like I said, there may be some that are coming here that want us.
I don't want to put the what do they call them, the propulsion people out of business. I mean, we all need TARP funds.
Well, let's revisit that idea where I was saying that there may be some that are coming here that are nurturing us, that want us to succeed and get out there, and there may be others that want us to destroy ourselves.
That's sort of the scenario.
So, I would think that the ones that want us to go out there would be angels, and the ones that want us to destroy ourselves would be demons.
Kim, think of the Federation. If there were these angels and demons going at each other in real time and space, the Federation, it would be like, we do have maritime
What Federation?
Law. The cosmic.
He means the Federation like Star Trek.
No, I understand that, but we don't know that there's a federation. You can't assume that. That's anthropomorphizing something that is so far out of the scope of human understanding at this point.
Star Wars. I mean, if they were going to be serious Star Wars, it would be like pirates on the sea. It would be like the Somalia pirates going out at sea. Now, eventually you've got to stop those guys.
All right, okay, I see. He's making it. I see what you're saying.
I see what you're saying
and
too.
If you're the Federation, you're going to keep them on a very short leash.
Yeah, they'll be on a short leash, but they'd let us get to Mars right now. They had reasons to let us get to Mars, right?
Particularly, you wouldn't want to let the pirates come in and take over another planet.
Right.
Because that planet would go to hell in a handbasket.
One would hope so.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
So the Federation has got to have a way to keep the bad guys off the virgin planets.
Yes, sure.
You don't want.
Hey, we're talking about a religion in which you don't get 72 virgins, you get 72 virgin planets to colonize.
Right, and you don't want necessarily the bad guys taking all those virgin planets.
Right, exactly.
So
it makes sense.
I mean, even if you're a ufologist, a Star Trek ufologist, or
Dan's making sense.
It's the Christians, though, believe that Satan is in charge of this world, and that we are a fallen planet and all that.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Hey, it's a consistent theory of evil. Let's put it.
It is a consistent. And lets God off the hook.
Yeah, but it means God is not omnipotent. Because He granted free will.
By their fruits He shall know them. So let's go into a science fiction scenario here. You have a very evil group of highly advanced extraterrestrials that are going out there, and all they do is cause trouble. Every planet that's developing like ourselves.
And maybe we're just the unlucky.
Let me finish my train of thought.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Every planet that's developing like ourselves is a threat to them somehow. They're paranoid, maniacs, and they want to eliminate all competition for the wealth of the universe by little upstart species like ourselves, right? Well, then there might be, or there probably is, others out there who would disagree with that point of view and would actively go about trying to
don't forget the time travel aspect,
prohibit that activity.
Our future descendants, and were mastered back from the future time travel, are involved in the loop of their own self-creation. So they have the motive to protect us against real aliens.
Bad aliens.
Well, bad relatives. No, those who want to destroy us by definition. That's the operational definition.
Well, if what you were saying, Jack, about this being a vast cosmic computer, is true, then you would want this computer to have as many neurons and as many possibilities as you could. You wouldn't want to go out and eliminate species.
Well, wait, it has a certain fixed number of pixels, which are
that could contribute to the ultimate end of the universe.
You're talking about the software patterns.
Right, right.
I'm just talking about the hardware. You're talking about the software. Yes,
okay.
you want to have many software. The software patterns are the parallel universes. Yeah, absolutely. The multiverse.
Jagdish, make an appearance on camera and just give a toast. Quick appearance in front of the camera over here, in front of Jack.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
Just a quick appearance. So they know.
Just walk over here and sit down.
For a second.
That I'm not just a disembodied person.
Then you're disembodied.
Jagdish is very photogenic, by the
Can
way.
we mention the full name or just?
Oh yeah,
Jagdish?
no, there's no secret.
Jagdish Man.
Jagdish Singh
Man. Jagdish Man.
Singh Man.
Of the same 6 that were attacked by that crazy neo-Nazi.
Oh, Jack,
really?
let's not digress.
And Jagdish has known Jack and Kim for
40 years.
40 years.
Half my years on Earth. More than half my years on Earth.
What are you talking about?
More than half my years.
Yes. All right, so there we are.
And Jagdish is mainly a biology.
My training is biology.
And
But Exo, how about
I have been
Exo?
hanging around with him a long time. I have learned a lot of physics. And when it comes to, just
by
physics,
osmosis.
Osmosis. Yeah, and being,
Jagdish also reads more than any human that I know on the planet.
Jagdish is a literary man. He's a literary man.
A man, yeah.
A literary man.
Well, I have a scholarly interest. So I'm done, okay?
He reads everything.
Thank you, Jagdish.
But a little bit more, but Jagdish, don't leave yet.
No, we need an audience.
I mean, just a little bit more that. You have it. Oh, you're the one. Okay, sorry, Dan.
It's all right.
That's enough. Definitely enough.
I'm fine, Dan. Thank you.
Let's finish this off. All right, so we sit down. So we got a tip.
I'm going to use my tea here.
Oh, it's better?
I have Long Island. This is Long Island.
Maybe Jack needs it.
Tea, isn't it?
What, water? Oh, no, I'm fine.
All right, getting back to the topic of ETs and human interstellar expansion, which you don't seem to think is a very good idea.
Well,
and I'm putting it mildly.
It's just if you can think of a better scenario than the Danny Anity Smith scenario, then you're welcome to Danny Anity.
Which is that scenario?
That's like Christianity, but it's not.
The megalomania is going off charts now, but
this is the ruling class. It's moving. Zero two.
Danny Anity rhymes with insanity, but we're not going to go there.
It does. And fine, please bring it on. Bring it. If you can think of a best possible world, a better possible world than Danny Anity, then bring it on.
I don't try to go there in the best possible world scenarios. My interest since I was a kid has been getting off this planet and exploring the universe. That to me has always been, for some strange reason I can't put my finger on.
Kim was like an aging Flash Gordon.
I'm a cheerleader.
Like
Buck Rogers.
No, I'm just a cheerleader. I'm a cheerleader for human interstellar expansion.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
And like Tim Leary said, space migration, intelligence increase, life extension, smile. We want to have a good adventure. Space opera is a good adventure,
Right.
And you're right, Dan, when you said that if we continue down the path that we're going, then we're going to be self-limiting. We're going to destroy ourselves.
The planet,
Nobody has to help us. We'll do it ourselves.
The planet is being destroyed very rapidly. It's a matter of decades, not hundreds of years, not centuries.
Right.
Decades. Decades, the perfect storm.
I mean, we're doing a perfectly good job of screwing things up here, as it is.
Is at hand, man. Many the handwritings on the wall of Facebook. The handwritings on my Facebook wall. Armageddon apocalypse now is close by, most likely. It's most likely.
Well, I don't believe that.
Yeah, we have done this in smaller scale before, that like
but not in this
the
scale.
Easter Island. That's true.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
I mean, we have a
The
capacity
point is
to go
the
down.
scale. It's not scale invariant. I mean, the point
Well,
is
it's
this.
big
We're now
difference.
reaching. We're reaching the finite limit. We're beyond the limit, and it's going to go critical, and it's going to be avalanche.
But unlike the dinosaurs, and unlike
Not like the dinosaurs.
no, I said unlike the dinosaurs,
yes.
and unlike the Cretaceous extinction, we have technology, and we are, as far as we know, the most advanced machines
except for
that have
UFOs.
ever existed
No,
on Earth.
except for UFOs.
But let me say that I need to
That are native
include
born.
you and Jack into this other, the Sam Hopkins loop, which
What's
includes
Sam Hop?
which includes Craig Dilworth and Jack Alpert.
Well, explain.
And Craig Dilworth wrote the book, and the title of his book was "Too Smart for Our Own Good."
Oh, well, maybe.
Yeah, we're
Well,
too smart.
Who is Craig? Craig, what's his name?
He's a philosopher living in Sweden
Oh,
with a wonderful Swedish wife, of course, and he's writing. He does philosophy of physics, and particularly philosophy of relativity.
Is this someone you know
So
personally?
I know. We know him personally. Yes.
is he in Stockholm?
He's in Stockholm.
Why don't we all go over to Stockholm and have a
Well,
meeting?
Sam and his wife were just over there for 2 weeks visiting. So yes.
Because we have a place to stay in Stockholm. The Countess and I.
So we're too smart for our own good.
Are we too smart?
I have felt many times that
too
as
smart
mankind,
for our own darn
too
good.
smart for our own good.
All the people in the Cafe Trieste are too smart for their own good, that's for sure.
Hey Jack, I want to go down to your apartment.
Okay, you got the key, right?
Yeah, I've got
Key
it.
right. Okay.
You're excused. Josh.
So
Oh, wait,
Hurry back.
we'll walk
hurry
out to
back,
dinner
hurry
soon,
back.
so wait.
Yeah, but I'll see you guys when you're
All right.
No, we'll hang out down there. We'll see you down there.
Okay, yeah, I'm not leaving. I'm
All right,
just
okay.
sit down there.
Yeah, relax.
Too smart. So maybe we are too smart.
Well, that's one of the key factors in the Drake equation. He took that into account.
Self-extinction.
Self-extinction, where you become so technologically advanced and so emotionally and spiritually unsophisticated that you wind up destroying yourself.
Hawking was saying this Hawking. But the point is that what's wrong about the Drake equation does not include stargates, wormholes, and warp drive. See, it assumes just
Well, he also
unorbit probes.
he also had a very low ball estimate on the number of planets,
Exoplanets.
exoplanets.
Yeah, he didn't know back then.
He didn't know, so there was no
But-
data there.
By the way,
So the
Frank
Drake equation is
You-
the Drake
Frank
equation
Drake
is
was-
pretty much obsolete at this point.
Frank Drake was at Cornell when I was a student there.
Like I say, bring it on. Bring it on. If you can come up with a better extraterrestrial scenario than the ultra-terrestrial scenario, that's
Well, I'm just talking about nuts and bolts here now, Dan. I'm not talking about metaphysics.
I know.
I'm just talking about whether or not it's worthwhile.
Phil Corso, Bruce Maccabee, all these
Yeah.
stars. We're talking
And-
Stanton Friedman, Jacques Vallée, although Jacques Vallée's more ultra-terrestrial. So
But Kim, let me be the first to say that God understands that you have been every human out there except for me, maybe, and Jack.
how human are you?
I don't know.
Are you all too human?
All too human? Yeah, ask my wife. Ask my wife.
I think I should interject a disclaimer here. Dan has had a scotch or two, so
It's not the only one.
I think they can see. I think they can see.
Yeah.
They're not hiding. Anyway, yes. Wait. What were we?
That you were human. Well, you're talking about Sam Hopkins. You're talking about too smart for own good, that sort of thing. And,
and why it's completely unnecessary for us to try to get off the planet.
why? Yeah.
Well, okay, but God understands. Here I'm speaking on behalf of God just because I feel like it.
Go ahead. That's all right. You
It's
have
all
my
right, Dan.
permission.
It's-
Dan, you have my permission. Speak for me.
Right.
Speak for me. Go ahead.
I mean, you're willingly putting this out
God
there.
realizes
Nobody's forcing you to say
that
this.
that there is this illusion. He's put out this I missed that.
I don't know. No, go ahead.
No,
I'm telling you, you telling me, and we telling them.
Yeah, all right.
We're telling you.
And God understands that we have been deceived by this very solid, very material seeming reality that is maybe just a cloud.
Well, the point is this. The point is this, that even if we are virtual reality, it's so good, the simulation is so good that
we don't want to end it. We don't want it to end.
Yeah, I know. Why not?
Right. No, we don't. It's
I don't
really
want it to end.
wonderful. It's
I know.
very.
I like driving in beautiful, fast cars.
Right.
Looking at beautiful.
But remember yesterday though, we were worrying about those poor people in Aleppo and Damascus. And other places that it's not such a pretty. Not
a pretty picture.
Not pretty.
Well, that may be happening all over the universe, Dan.
And it may be happening all. It's going to happen more and more because of the ecological collapse, the climate change, whether it's anthropocentric or not, doesn't matter. The climate's changing. We're getting the extreme weather patterns.
Right.
Oh, by the way, did you hear the latest in Florida?
Oh no.
Between now and November, they're having they predicted 17 major hurricanes and storms. There's much more than normal.
November.
Yeah, between now and the end of hurricane season. So the extreme weather is a fact.
Yeah.
And it's go. I mean,
remember,
food
you're
prices,
hearing this from who 2 years ago was a.
Well, then doesn't
climate
that just simply reinforce the?
I was always an agnostic.
Climate agnostic.
Doesn't that reinforce what Stephen Hawking has been saying? Is that it's very important for us to get off this planet?
And Stephen Hawking and Tim Leary.
And guess what?
Leary said it before Hawking.
Guess what, Kim? I'm going to get you off there faster.
No, you're going to.
So fast.
No, well, he's not going to drink. He's not going to drink the Kool-Aid, man.
So fast. It's just a question of how soon.
Heaven's Gate, none of that.
Wait, no.
Heaven's Gate.
Let me.
He took responsibility for Heaven's Gate.
I did. I did. Partial responsibility.
All right, continue on how you're going to get me off this planet faster.
As I was explaining to the Contessa this morning on our 3-mile walk, that, and this is where the 6,000 years is.
Oh, that's what 6,000.
This is the young Earth, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
That as soon as we're ready, we can leave the planet, and we won't have to go to the heavens because we can go.
Chances you're leaving the planet next 10 years or 20 years are almost certain. So
well, Dan, does that
leave the planet.
That's our problem.
Does that involve dying, Dan?
Dan, are you playing chess with death? Are you playing a chess game with death?
God is. No, God is playing brinksmanship.
Because if it involves dying, I'm not interested. I want to go out there and see it myself.
Okay, well, you've got quite a few more years than we do.
That might be more.
But no, I'm saying in 200. I'm saying I'm speculating that in 200 years, most humans will be ready to go leave the planet.
Hey, you know what? That's pie in the sky. That's neither here nor there. Because we're not going to be around in 200 years unless we can upload our consciousness into the cloud and then be reborn, resurrected in a cloned body,
but
another body, or in an avatar. Unless we could do avatar technology.
You're being too selfish now because you want everything to happen within your very foreshortened lifetime.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully not too, but we want it to happen.
Hey, I'm not going to die young.
Right. But,
absolutely.
But I'm saying, guess what, Jack? Guess what?
Well, look.
Is it black or blue?
No, it's it's carrying a sign.
It's
it's an advertising.
No. Look, is that a hawk or is it a raven? That huge bird over there. You can't see it, Kim. I can see it from here.
It's a plane flying by with a sign that says the end is near.
No, we're talking about the bird.
never mind.
That's a plane. This is a bird.
I know, but the plane just had a sign behind it that said the end is near.
The end is that what it said?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
It had a
No.
sign.
Hey, there was a huge hawk. I think the hawk. There's the hawk. That's a giant.
right,
That's
okay.
or a cock.
Yeah.
It's not a cock. That is a big bird. That's the bird that tries to get into the contest.
All right.
All right.
Jack. Okay, you right? Oh, there it
Look,
goes
look.
again. It
Oh,
left.
it's a hawk.
It left.
Big
It
hawk.
left. All right. It left.
This giant
You
hawk.
embarrassed.
He's Brother Hawk. All right.
Brother hawk.
Well, that's my
no,
point.
it's the hawk. It's Horace, the hawk god, has made his appearance. Horace.
All right, gentlemen. Let's get back on topic
Ready?
here.
Relax
Go
now.
ahead.
We have
Guess
9
what?
minutes left on this tape.
Oh gosh. All right. Guess what, Jack? You and me.
Yeah.
Did you know that we were brothers?
And peas from the same pod
Uh-huh.
of the body snatches, of the mind snatch, the invasion of the
Yeah,
body.
yeah,
I believe
yeah.
that. Sure.
That we are soul brothers.
Sure.
We are soul brothers.
Yeah.
You say that.
Sure,
You
of
say it
course,
as if you already knew that.
Of course I do.
But see,
You're part of the others in the 1952 call. It said the others. You know, you get
all right.
part
But
of the
see,
others.
most everyone else in the world thinks that they have their own personal soul, right?
Yes.
That they have if the most important possession, we're told, is our individual soul. And that's why we should be so focused on saving our soul, our individual souls.
Okay.
Well, I'm a heretic.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, no, we don't have individual souls. We are time-sharing on the cosmic
Yeah. Oh
soul.
well. You're not
Time-sharing.
the only one who says that.
I
That's an
know.
old. I mean, Schrodinger said that.
Oh,
Oh, Schrodinger. Yeah.
all right.
I mean, that's a big. That's the. Yeah. I mean, that's an
Oh,
old
really?
idea. I mean, I'm sure Jagdish.
I don't know.
Schrodinger.
Schrodinger?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He was
What
part of that.
kind?
Yeah, that was his philosophy.
There's only one
But
soul.
comes from no, but that
see,
comes.
I'll tell
the
you who
Uber,
this
the
comes
Uber
from.
soul, the Ubermensch,
All
the
right.
Ubermensch,
But the Uber, all right, okay. But
not the Untermensch,
You
but the
know where this-
Ubermensch.
you know where this comes from, Jack? It comes from your friend Richard Feynman,
Well,
who believed there was only one electron, right?
well,
am I
Wheeler
right?
and Feynman.
Am I right? Wheeler,
Actually,
Feynman,
no, actually, it wasn't
Am I right?
Feynman. No, it was Wheeler more than Feynman. I think
Was
it
it?
was Wheeler, and I think
Oh.
Feynman shot it down because there's the problem. Why then is there not equal amounts of matter and antimatter? You see, that's the problem.
That's a dark matter.
Well, no,
but,
it's
yeah,
not. No, it's not.
But
No,
still,
no.
but
It's not
still,
real. Unless it's virtual. Wait a minute. Maybe that's it. In the virtual state, see, then there can be. It does work. It just doesn't work for real particles. It does work for virtual particles. It's like
Well,
that.
it's
That's
all right.
Okay, it gave me a new idea. I have to think.
Could that be the reason why the universe is expanding?
No. It turns out the electron-positron pairs form attractive gravity dark matter that tend to resist the expansion. It's the virtual photons that are causing accelerated expansion. So the dark energy is virtual light. The dark matter is virtual electron-positron pairs, or that single electron going back and forth, zigzagging back and forth.
Right.
That Wheeler Feynman.
Yeah.
That Wheeler. It was really Wheeler.
So
that's
this
the dark
is,
matter.
This is part. See, this is important. This is part of your answer.
One gravitates and one
This is your
anti-gravitates.
answer, Kim. That each of us, there's this one soul that keeps going around 10 to the 10 times.
Yeah, but that's an old
10 billion
idea.
of us.
That's
Okay,
an old
well,
idea,
good,
and I agree
good.
with that
Well,
idea.
good.
Sure. I
All
mean,
right.
that's not.
All right.
I mean, it's a whole literature.
So we
on
don't
that.
need another. See, we
No, but
already
we're
been
pirates.
living
We're the
10
Somali
billion
pirates.
years.
We're the
Yeah.
greedy Somali pirates, and we want to have avatars. We want to remember. We want to
But
be the
you've
wandering
already,
Jews.
see?
No, we
Yeah.
want to be the wandering Jews and the Flying Dutchman and the immortal gods
Right.
that go through time and see the whole
And
adventure.
Danny
That's what we
T.
want.
Smith is here to tell you that you are already all of these things.
Well,
Because
possibly.
that's all just this one soul.
Well, possibly, but we want to have the individual memories too. You see.
Well, but look, I'm saying that that you are my memory and I am your memory.
Yeah, well,
And
yes.
we don't exist outside of each other's.
So Dan,
memories.
give me your vision of the eschaton. We have 5 minutes left. Give me your vision of what the eschaton
this is what I
physically,
was telling
from a real
you.
world standpoint,
Real
will look
world
like.
Physical thing is what I was
We're putting on the Ritz.
telling to Contessa this morning on our 3-mile walk.
All right.
And we are having, okay, as soon as we understand what this is all about, we're going to get our fertility under control, which we're already doing. I mean, all the advanced countries.
Well, China is going to have a
No,
population.
I'm talking about how we're all going to go to heaven.
I have to explain.
When we're
to you.
already all in hell.
Except here in the Tuscan garden.
Except here, there's that little bit of heaven.
Across from the Los Angeles Palladium.
This whole
Yes.
bit of heaven.
All right, okay. So the population as of when this goes viral,
Zero?
yeah.
Not viral.